kids! Welcome again to the Nolly and Thread Show. My name is Nolly. I almost said my name was Vinium. And this is Vinium right here.
Hi kids, nice to have you joining us on the Molly and Friends Show. This is episode number 29. We're doing a part 2 on our previous episode, which is episode 28, where we talked about insecurities.
I remember, that was a good conversation. If you haven't heard that one, you need to go and watch it right now. It's so good.
It was good, wasn't it, Molly? But let's do a quick feelings check-in, and I should let our listeners know this episode may be a little shorter because our camera's battery is like running low, and we've been doing a series of videos today. This is our last one for the day on this battery charge. So if it's shorter, you'll understand why. It's just we wanted to squeeze everything in on this video here. So insecurities, but first let's do a quick feelings check-in, Molly.
I am so excited. I can't wait because we had such a good conversation on insecurities, and it's so important to talk about.
And okay, Molly, how about me?
Oh yeah, you too. How are you feeling? I'm excited. How about you?
Well, Molly, I'm also excited too. I have some ideas here that I think I've never thought of before, but I'm so excited to share with our friends, and it's gonna be so good. But let's do a couple of dad jokes, because I know on our last episode, Molly, we ran out of time for you to share your last dad joke. So let's have 2 dad jokes before we begin, okay?
Okay, are you guys ready? Here's my first dad joke. On night friend, while we were camping, he said I had no sense of direction. Well, do you know what I told him?
What did you tell him, Molly?
Well, I didn't say anything. I just packed up and went right.
You mean left? You left.
No, I went right. Left. That's the dad joke.
So you packed up and left, but you went right. So you packed up and right. I can see why you have no sense of direction.
I don't. Just kidding.
I like that dad joke. That was a really good one. All right, what's our next dad joke?
Okay, this one is a little bit more complex. Are you guys ready? Okay, so why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
Why can't a nose be 12 inches long, Molly?
Because then it would be a foot.
Oh, I get it, because in a foot there are 12 inches, and so a nose can't be 12 inches because then it would be a foot in measurement, but it can't be a foot because a foot is different from a nose.
My goodness, you're smart.
That was a clever joke, Molly. I really enjoyed that one. I'm going to try and remember that one. That one is good.
Thank you. All right, let's get to our topic of insecurities, because today we're talking about how to work through insecurities.
Wow, that was very emphatically stated, Molly.
It's so good. I can't wait. Are you ready, William?
I'm ready. Let's first of all define what insecurities are. Molly, do you remember what an insecurity is?
An insecurity is it's those feelings we have on the inside that those feelings on the inside when we don't feel like we're good enough with anyone else or ourselves.
That's a great summary of it, yes. And insecurity, if you remember from our last episode, is those feelings we have on the inside that make us feel less than, that make us feel like we're not good enough.
I do not like those feelings. Do you guys have insecurities?
Well, actually, Molly, we all have insecurities. All of us, grown-ups and kids alike. We all have different kinds of insecurities. Some are different from others, but we all have them. And so it's helpful to remember that we all have them. But today, kids, we're going to be talking about how to deal with your insecurities. How do you work through your insecurities so that you're becoming better, like you're able to conquer, you're able to overcome those insecurities.
It's possible to overcome your insecurities?
Absolutely, Molly, but it takes hard work. Now, I'm going to propose this hard work in the form of games that I think that are fun to play.
Ooh, I like games.
Good. So you're going to like this. So the first thing we're going to do with our insecurities is we're going to play hide and seek.
I don't get it. How do we play hide and seek with our insecurities?
Well, imagine it this way, Molly. When you play hide and seek, there's someone who's looking for all the others that have gone to hide, right?
Yeah, that's fun. But how do you deal with the insecurities?
Well, imagine it like this. It's like a game. Imagine that your insecurities are hiding and they don't want to be noticed because they wanted to keep on doing their thing. So you're the one who's going to go find your insecurities. So you take some time and you start sneaking around to find where are those insecurities, and you're looking for them so you can discover them. And then when you find them, you say, aha, I found you. Isn't that the fun part of hide and seek?
Yeah, that's how do we do that? Like, are my insecurities hiding around the house here?
They may not be hiding around the house, but do you know where they're hiding, Molly?
Tell me.
They're hiding in your heart.
Oh,
And they're hiding in your mind, where you think.
I see. So you're playing hide and seek inside your heart and your mind, and you're going to go find your insecurities. Like, where are you? I want to find you. And then when you find them, you say, I found you right there. There you are, right. Well, not you, because you're my friends.
That's right, Molly. You're so funny. Yes, it's like finding them, but you're finding them inside of yourself. So this might take you to a place where you need to find a quiet space. And it's going to be a fun thing. You're going to go looking for them. And why it's going to be fun, Molly, even though insecurities aren't so much fun, is because the first part is being able to see what our insecurities are and being okay with saying, oh, there you are. So what I do with my insecurities, for example, one of my insecurities is sometimes I don't feel like I'm good enough because I don't have much money in life. And so I can't go eat at restaurants very often, or I can't buy, some things that I would like to buy. And so I feel insecure and I feel like really poor. So that's one of my insecurities. So how I would go and play hide and seek with my insecurity, if I did not know that was what it was, is I would look inside myself and say, what things make me feel uncomfortable, or what things make me feel like I'm not good enough, or what kind of things make me feel like I'm less than. And I'd sit by myself and I'd imagine all the things that make me feel like I'm not good enough. And then I would say, but what is it that makes me feel like I'm not? Oh, what makes me feel like I'm not good enough is that I feel like I'm poor. And that must be one of my insecurities. And then I say, aha, I found you. I found that insecurity where I feel poor. And so I don't feel like I'm good enough. And then when I find it, I'm kind of excited because I'm like, now I can see you. You can't hide anymore. And then this is the beginning part for me to start working on that insecurity. So it's exciting when you find them because then you become smarter about yourself. But it takes some time to work on this game and saying, what are the other insecurities do I have? Oh, I noticed that when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't feel pretty enough, or I don't feel strong enough, or I don't feel like people are going to like me, or I think that I smell funny, or that I walk funny, or that I'm going to, there's a whole bunch of insecurities. But as we do this, Molly, we start being able to say, oh, now I know something about me, and I found it because it was hiding before, and now I see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then when you find those insecurities, you say, I found you, and I'm not letting you go because you don't want it to go hiding on you again. And when you can see it and when you can know about it, then you can start working on it. So that's what I mean when I say play hide and seek with the insecurities. Play hide and seek inside your heart. Play hide and seek inside your mind. And start thinking through what are those feelings that don't make you feel like you're good enough.
This is so interesting. I've never heard this idea before.
I just came up with the idea when I was preparing for this podcast, and I thought this would be a helpful way for our friends to be able to identify what those feelings are of insecurity that they might be struggling with in a fun way.
I see.
And then when you find these feelings, Molly, you follow them and say, okay, what words do I know about that can describe this feeling? And for me, I feel like I'm not good enough when I feel poor. Oh, or I feel like I am not good enough because I get frustrated and I don't have a lot of patience. Oh, now you have some words to be able to use to describe it, and then you understand it better. Remember we talked about some of those words about how our insecurities make us feel?
Oh yeah, like the word worry. I feel worried sometimes, or sometimes I feel nervous or alone, and that's not a nice feeling. And sometimes I also feel scared.
Thank you for sharing those, Molly. Those are some really legitimate feelings. As you think about those descriptions of how you feel, start following them to find out where they lead you. What is it that makes you feel all these things? And that's where we find those areas we want to work on.
I see. What else do we do then? What do we do from here?
Well, after we find these feelings that make us feel not good enough in the game of hide and seek, then we switch the game and we play dress up.
I like dress up. I love dressing up.
I love dressing up too, Molly. In fact, I have a lot of grown-up friends who will enjoy dressing up, and we dress up and go to these parties.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
You know what's not fun though, Molly?
Tell me.
It's not fun when you only have one thing to dress up in, though. If you only have one thing, one costume to dress up in, you don't have a variety. But it's fun when you have a variety of clothes, right, to dress up in?
Yeah, it's nice when you have a whole bunch of options. I like options.
Yeah, me too. I love options as well. So now imagine those feelings that we were talking about before. Imagine that you're dressing yourself up in them. So those insecurities, those things that make you feel like you're not good enough, imagine that that's what you've been dressing yourself up in this game of dress up. But that's all you know is all these emotions and these feelings that aren't really comfortable and they're not really nice or kind to yourself. Imagine that's all you've been able to dress up in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to expand our wardrobe. We're going to expand our options for what we can dress up in. So let's say, let me use myself as an example. I told you about how one of my insecurities is that I felt like I was poor and I didn't feel like I was good enough. And that's what I've been dressing myself up in. And then I said, I don't like the way I look in this feeling of feeling poor. It doesn't make me feel good. And so I want to choose some other options to dress up in. And so I go for a dress up game and I say, what other options could I dress myself up in besides feeling poor? And then I say, ooh, I feel like I'm actually rich because I've got some wonderful personality, and that's a beautiful thing. I like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or then I say, I feel rich because I'm a hard worker. Yeah, I may not have enough money, but I work really hard and I'm honest about it. That feels good.
I like that idea too.
And then I think about more things I could dress myself up in, Molly. Like, I feel like I have enough because I have a beautiful, warm home to live in. I have a nice, warm bed. I have like a beautiful view from my apartment. I feel, even though I may have felt poor once upon a time, I can actually feel very thankful for the things that I have. And that's another storyline that makes me feel better. So what we're doing is we're taking these insecurities or ways that we feel less than or that we're not good enough, and then we start adding more stories that are positive, and we start saying, ooh, how else could I feel? And basically you're giving yourself more options in how you could feel despite all these things.
I see. So you're playing dress up, but you're dressing yourself up with emotions and feelings.
Exactly right, Molly.
And then you choose the ones that make you feel good, not the ones that make you feel bad.
That's a great way to say it, Molly. Absolutely. So we're playing this game of dress up where you're saying, hey, how can I experience something far better that makes me feel better?
I like that. That's a great idea, Dinium.
And then you choose the amazing emotions and the positive feelings. And when you do this over and over, you start thinking differently about who you are and how you feel and how you are existing in this world. And the more you dress yourself up in wonderful emotions that you think about and choose to wear those instead of the ones that are challenging, let's say you're not good enough, the more you start feeling and believing that you're actually worthwhile in this life.
I love that. I want to practice that. So it's like a game of dressing up, but you're dressing up with your emotions and feelings that you'd rather feel, right?
That's right. And Molly, this isn't easy for many of us because sometimes even thinking about the positive alternative options, it's challenging. So what I would encourage is to ask the people you trust to start helping you choose some positive things. Ask those that you know really well and who care for you, saying, what are some good things you see about me? And then as you hear what they're saying, take those and tuck them away in your heart to say, I'll remember this one here. And you say those things wonderfully, Molly, at the end of our show. Do you remember what you say?
Oh yeah, here's some. Are you guys ready for this? You are kind. Yeah, I want you to hear that. You are so kind. And you are smart. You're so smart. And I want you to know that too. And really importantly, you are so important to the people who love you, to your parents, to your friends, to your teachers, to me, and of course to Biniam too.
That's right. Thank you for sharing that, Molly. That was really sweet.
Yeah, I want you guys to believe that with all of your heart, because we care about you too.
That's right. And when we believe our insecurities, the things that tell us how we're not good enough, we start believing those. And when we believe those, we almost believe, we start thinking of ourselves less. But when we believe some amazing things about ourselves, it's beautiful. Want to tell us our final joke, Molly?
Okay. What did the buffalo say when he left his kid?
What did he say?
Die, son!
That's awesome.
Bye, kids.
See you guys next time.